My name is Ken, and is it just me, or does the new Satisfactory teaser title sound suspiciously like one of my videos? Even more so because the biggest problem in both videos is the exact same problem. I've never done a reaction video to anything like this before, but I felt the biggest problem teaser that showed the Dimensional Depot directly impacts the remote item delivery system I designed and iterated over the last year. In fact, I've already gotten some comments on how it replaces my system, but I don't think that I agree. This video is going to go over how I think the new Dimensional Depot, aka Mercer Spheres, will affect my remote item delivery system and how I intend to play 1.0 with this new knowledge. If you missed it, Coffee Stain Studios announced a new Dimensional Depot that you can fill, and it will send items either directly into your inventory or for use towards construction. If you haven't seen that video, it's there in the corner and in the description. How this Dimensional Depot works is you take the items that you want available to you wherever you are on the map, and you put them into this storage bin looking glowy purple thing. What that does is that it uploads them, as Snut says, into the cloud, and you can access that anywhere on the map. You can download them, put them in your inventory, but you can also, whenever you're constructing something, just pull from that Dimensional Depot, right? That cloud storage of your items. And so that system solves Satisfactory's biggest problem, which both Snut and I identified as having to run back and forth and reloading your items whenever you run out when you go to build a new base or a new factory far away from your central storage or wherever you're making the items. So here's the question. How much does this Dimensional Depot replace of the system that I've been working on and iterating over the last year? Well, let's first walk through, as a reminder, how my system works. If you've seen my video, this may look familiar to you, but essentially how my system works is it's in three parts. The first part takes items that are fed in and allows you remotely to determine whether or not you want them to be output via this output. And we can demonstrate very quickly by building a priority power switch and turning on item 1. And once that item is turned on and requested from anywhere on the map, as you can see, my system outputs that item from this blueprint on this belt. Now from there, it heads to the second part of my system, which is a train. And of course, this train system is the transportation portion. Now that train line can go anywhere you want it to do on the map. Of course, that is a lot of work to set up. And finally, once your item arrives wherever you're trying to get it to go, I set up a remote storage. And this remote storage takes whatever item you sent through your train or through a drone set and sorts them so that you can get to them. So the question is, which parts of this three-part system does the Dimensional Depot replace? The fact is, it replaces the end piece. Okay, you don't need to sort anything. It's put directly in your inventory, or at least very easy to grab in your inventory. And we don't need any of the travel pieces because once you set it into the box, you don't need any of this infrastructure. It's automatically being sent to your inventory. So absolutely, these items are no longer needed. However, it is my opinion that we still will need a way to remotely determine what items go into this Dimensional Depot. If we pretend that this storage container is the new shiny purple storage container that leads to our Dimensional Depot, remember, the Dimensional Depot has limits for the number of items that can be stored inside of it. Now, I have no idea what will happen when, let's say, industrial beams in our Dimensional Depot get full. My best guess is that it will back up the belt, but we don't know for sure. Assuming that it does back up the belt, we're going to need some way to stop sending industrial beams into the storage container and instead send something else we might need. And if we go into my system and we turn on another item and turn off industrial beams, that's going to provide us that new item in place of industrial beams that have filled up in our Dimensional Depot. Now, one thing that may be possible is if we're able to build one of these storage containers for every single item, then it won't matter if the belt backs up because every single item will have its own source into the Dimensional Depot. If these storage containers are so cheap that we can build one for every item, then there's a possibility that setting up the ability to switch out what items go on what belts remotely may not be as important. But we'll have to see. Now that my Star Wars playthrough is complete, I will be starting a brand new save and playthrough in 1.0. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're interested in what I have planned, well, you know what to do.